gentlemen, welcome to the Video Game Losers Show here on the Pop Culture Network. I am your host, Dirt, and I'm joined here today with...
Killing.
Are you sure that's what your name is?
I just
you had to think about it for a minute?
I just decided, well...
You weren't sure who you were?
I was reading something.
I caught you off guard, huh?
I wasn't prepared.
You didn't know we were starting?
But I'm ready now.
There we go.
Killing.
This is going to be the video game show here on the Pop Culture Network. This is like the fourth time we've tried to bring together a video game show, and we've got a format now we think is going to work. We tried to do one of these about a year ago, and I hated it, so we retooled it back into the warehouse and something new. And this is basically how it's going to break down. We're going to have three segments. Segment one, talking about the news. Not necessarily like all the headlines, but just, you know, stuff that we can talk about for a few minutes, have some comments about some of the stuff happening in
relatable
video game news. Number two, segment two, is going to be video game releases. Killen's going to be talking about all the hot releases coming out this week. And then segment three is kind of our open segment. It'll be fan corner questions, it'll be a video game review, it'll be maybe us discussing mobile gaming versus console gaming, you know, PC versus console, that type of thing. So basically that's your three segment format that we're doing with the show. Anything else you want to add about it?
No, I wrote all that down so that...
Oh, so if you get confused and you don't know which segment it is?
I'm the news guy that writes the stuff down and changes to
So I read it off the laptop, and then you write it down on paper.
No.
Just to make sure that we have it?
I just got to make sure the continuity flows correctly.
Ah, continuity.
So, yeah, continuity editor.
You're the continuity editor of our show. Well, I'm glad we have one. We need one. All right, folks, let's get into some of the hot topics. Not the store at your local shopping mall, but some of the big news stories going on this week. First up, Child's Play made all the money this year. Those of you unfamiliar with Child's Play, it is the children's charity put together by the folks at Penny Arcade.
Child's Play. And
Child's Play this year raised $3,512,345 in donations.
How many Microsoft points is that?
6. There's some inflation in Xbox Live. But last year they hit $2.2 million. They didn't think they could beat it. It's a tough economy, you hear everybody talk about. But this year they happened to make $3.5 million.
Everybody's willing to give money to the games.
I mean, it's to make kids happy.
Oh, you're going to make kids happy? You're going to go play Donkey Kong? Well, here's $20.
Donkey Kong or Donkey Konga? Because one of them is a nice retro fun game and the other one's torture.
Well, if they are terrible people, they send them Konga. If they're like legitimate, they're probably some Donkey Kong.
Now, Child's Play started in 2003, so they've been doing this for quite a while. And they started out with one hospital, just giving kids Game Boy Advances and games, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now they're up to 80 hospitals worldwide that they send games and activities to. So
legitimate. Lots
of kids happy. So good for them this year. Xbox Live games, they're getting fatter and cheaper, just like the women that hang around the corners in my neighborhood. Xbox Live games, they're bringing the the maximum size. The maximum size is going from 150 megabytes to 500 megabytes.
Ooh,
so,
expansions.
Pretty good sized games that they can put together now. And
that's like Pong Plus.
They've reduced the price. Game makers can now sell their game for as little as $1 on the Xbox Live marketplace, which, I mean, makes sense. A lot of those games you look at and it's like, oh, you know, $5 for Sky Cat to watch the cat falling out of the sky. You got to dodge the bricks, and
you could barely rent a movie for $5. So why would you complain about paying for a game?
Unless you go to Redbox, then they're like $1.
Whoa, okay, Satan, you want to go there and help the man?
My voodoo black magic.
Man. Okay.
But this is going to allow, of course, games to be bigger, a little more in depth on there. They're almost reaching a full CD-ROM size now.
Ooh.
So maybe we can get some Sega CD classics brought onto Xbox Live.
But Xbox, not to be outdone, says no, we're going to give you a little bit more, but we don't want you to be better than us.
Than Sega CD?
We're not going to let them have full-size games.
Oh,
we're
I see.
We're not going to let you charge you can't even give away for free because how dare you take our money.
Right.
So,
good
but we'll give you a little bit of a push to act like we're good guys.
You know, I think part of the deal is they're really feeling the push from Steam. Because Steam is something that I never dealt with until about this last year.
Yep.
And now that I have Steam, I'm going a little ridiculous on some of these games. Because games show up, they'll be like $1.64.
I used to hate Steam, but now I love it.
Yeah, before I was like, oh, this is terrible. But now you can log in any computer. You can download the game, play it. and they're super super duper cheap. So
Constantly on sale.
yeah, everything is always at a bargain basement value price. So, all right, let's see. This year, everybody wanted to play Crysis 2. Nobody wanted to pay for it. Turns out Torrent Freak has done some research and found out that Crysis 2 was the most downloaded game this year. 3.9 million times over BitTorrent since March. Modern Warfare 3 only got 3.6 million, but Modern Warfare 3 came out in November. So they didn't have as long to try to download Modern Warfare 3, but still, Crysis 2, the big game.
So make sure you visit Torrent Freak to steal the games.
If you want to steal games, make sure you check out Torrent
Freak. Got it.
Now, let's see. Battlefield 3 was third place on the list. So, I mean, there's your other big game of this year.
Why Crysis? That's like weird.
It was big at the beginning of the year. You know, that was a hot game. Started out the year.
Maybe only because they have more time.
It was also a big PC game. And if you're going to BitTorrent, more likely you're BitTorrenting PC games.
Right.
So,
but Modern Warfare 3, really? That should have won hands down.
Well, yeah, but Modern Warfare 3 came out in November, whereas Crysis 2 came out in March.
It's just harder to steal, I guess.
So, let's see. Also, Part 4 was FIFA 12.
Oh.
Because people all over the world download games, not just us Americans who hate soccer.
And they love soccer.
And Portal 2 was number 5, which is a great game.
I can see that.
Yeah, total thumbs up on that one. Now, top Xbox Live game was Gears of War 3. And the top Wii game downloaded was Super Mario Galaxy 2. So, kind of makes sense on those. I can see those. No PS3 game on these top downloads because PS3 really does a much better job blocking out hackers and downloaders.
Don't buy PS3.
It's a lot harder to burn a full PS3 game and download them because they're so gigantically huge.
And the Blu-rays.
They can be done. It's just more difficult, time-consuming. All right. Oddly enough, Atari still owns their own games. I know that seems crazy, but apparently indie developers are finding this out as hundreds of games on iOS are being pulled due to copyright infringement from Atari. Atari says, amazingly enough, games that they made, they still own. And just because you remake it and re-release it on the iPhone doesn't make it your game. Indie developers are crying foul, saying, hey, you haven't updated the game in 20 years. We made Vector Tanks and Vector Tanks Extreme. How dare you pull our games from the market?
To which the legal department shouted back, too bad. Write that down. Too bad.
Basically, let's see, Black Powder Media said that anything that has even a passing resemblance to an Atari classic has been issued a copyright infringement claim. Of course, their game, Vector Tanks, is an update of Atari's Battlezone. So they say anything with a passing resemblance, including our game, which is a blatant update of their classic game. So go figure that out.
That's debatable. We'll see you in court, sir.
Someone has figured out the history of the Legend of Zelda in Japanese. Book was released called Hyrule Historia, released in Japan on December 21st. That includes an historical outline of every game in the Legend of Zelda series and how they piece together. So they are all part of one ongoing legend, but of course it's in Japanese. So massive nerds who we appreciate are working overtime trying to translate everything and get it all in order so that we can figure it out for ourselves. They have also managed to translate the text, the Hylian text, from Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. They figured out how to translate it. They've created a font you can download onto your computer in case you want to make your desktop unreadable by changing. Although that'd be a good trick to play on somebody. Change their font to some foreign script that's impossible to read.
Like Klingon?
Yeah.
Borg.
So, anyway, I'm kind of looking forward to see how that all plays out and what it all figures out. Xbox 720 will be a DVR.
That's scary.
Allegedly. The set-top box patent was filed by Microsoft in 2007, originally for part of the original Xbox, but they figured out it's not going to work that well, and it didn't make it into 360, but apparently they think 720, the working name for it, which, I mean, it's just as stupid as 360, so why not?
1080's down the road, folks.
But it looks like they are working on updating the patent to work it into the new system to make it... now the 360 is running TV information from Fios. You can plug into Fios and stream some of your channels directly to your Xbox 360 now. And they're trying to work out deals with Comcast, I think Charter Communications, I'm not sure who else, but working on deals to stream live television to your 360. You can get rid of your cable box and just do it all through your internet connection.
Yay, piracy.
Nintendo 3DS is apparently getting a few 3D games next year, which is going to be kind of handy considering they had like 5 this year, something like that.
Yeah, but they had good titles.
My numbers might be a little off, but
6. It says 6.
this year saw some good titles, especially with the name Mario involved in them. But next year, they're actually ramping up and hoping to push out some games like Resident Evil Revelations, Metal Gear Solid 3D, Kid Icarus Uprising, Kingdom Hearts 3D. There's also a new Fire Emblem, an Animal Crossing, and a Paper Mario game in the works. They're also beefing up their online store with the hopes of having more games available for digital download directly to your 3DS.
What about some Pokemans?
They have a 3D Pokemon Pokédex available now as an app you can download to your 3DS. I'm sure... I don't know if there's an actual game, though. But I'm sure there'll be one coming. If
Pokemon 3DS on the way, folks. I'm going to write that down. 3DS. Pokemon
And
3DS.
the Wii U will be an actual tablet, allegedly.
Hey, it's time to watch some baseball.
Okay.
And a runner on second. Hernandez is on the mound, and here comes the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 98-mile-per-hour fastball.
3DS has a few apps. The DSi has a few apps. Wii has some apps. But it looks like the Wii U tablet will be a full-on tablet with a complete app store to rival the iPhone and Android. It will have actual things. No word yet on Netflix or Hulu, but I'm sure you'll be playing Angry Birds on it in no time. They want to have dedicated apps going to the store to, basically they say, reach beyond the living room. So they're hoping that you will buy the Wii U, take the tablet with you, and probably break it so you have to buy a new one to replace your system when you take that portable tablet out and about.
For $200.
Right. So
That looks expensive. I mean...
Yeah, I'm not sold completely on the Wii U. I mean, I think it looks interesting, but the graphics of the actual Wii U system don't look that much better than the Wii that's out now. And the Wii is just 2 GameCubes duct taped together. So this is going to be like 4 GameCubes duct taped together. So
You say that, but it outsells everybody.
Oh, well, yeah, it has been the #1 selling console.
Doesn't matter.
So
They'll put Atari back together, and if they can make some money off it, that's what we'll get. And you'll love it.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for segment 1, the news here. Are we going to take a break for a commercial and then come back with releases, or you just want to do them now? Just do one commercial break. It's the first show. We can do it however you want.
However you want.
No, however you
paper,
want.
rock, scissors it?
1, 2, 3, go?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.